Well, thank you for coming. My name is Eric Williams from Super Fitness. If you haven't seen me before, I came out a few months ago and gave a lunch and learn about food labels and all that fun stuff. So today we're going to go over weight management. Okay, so we're going to talk about like what is really a healthy weight compared to the ideal weight. Okay, we're going to examine the difference of both. Okay, because those two get mixed up a lot from what I've seen as personal training and as a coach. So I'm going to highlight those today as well as various chronic diseases and how exercise can help prevent or reduce the risk of chronic disease. Okay, we're going to start off with just a statistic here from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Study. And from 2009 to 2010, they found that 36% of adults were considered obese. Okay, so you can see the percentages for men and women. Okay, that's a pretty significant number, and that was 6 years ago. So I'm sure it's even on the increase. So what is obesity? I mean, we've all heard of it. It's a multifactorial condition related to many chronic diseases. Multifactorial meaning, many factors, including, cardiovascular disease, hypertension, high cholesterol, all that stuff we've all heard about before. But in a scientific way, it's defined as having excess body fat categorized by a body mass index of 30 or greater. Okay, so I'll get into what body mass index is in a few slides, but what it means to be overweight, it's obviously, it's less pronounced than obesity, but the BMI range of that is 25 to 29.9, and I'll get into that later, like I said. So, what is chronic disease? We've all heard of that term before too, but what really is it? Chronic disease is a disease that persists for a long time, particularly 3 months or more. Okay, they generally cannot be treated. Prevented or cured by medication. Okay, and from a 2002 study, 88% of Americans over 65 had at least one chronic health condition. Okay, and that's obviously due to lack of physical activity and poor eating habits. Okay, that's the biggest factor in why chronic health conditions are so prevalent in our society. So I know this is a little small, I'm sorry, but so what this slide shows is just lists of what types of chronic disease there are that you may not know of. Obviously, we know of cardiovascular disease, but that branches off into, like I said, having high blood pressure, high fat content in the blood, high cholesterol, coronary artery disease, chronic heart failure, all those things. Obesity is another chronic disease which ties into cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, arthritis, epilepsy and seizures, various oral health problems, and even low back pain. Okay, I put low back pain on there because that is labeled as a chronic disease. But most people don't think of it as a chronic disease. They just think that their back's just supposed to hurt for the rest of their life. Well, it may be due to lack of physical activity and poor eating habits, but it might be linked to something that you're doing, like say on the job, that you're not moving properly in the correct way, and that can lead to low back pain, and it doesn't go away until you see a professional that's going to get you back on track that way. Okay, so according to the American Heart Association, there was a 19% decreased risk of heart disease, stroke in men, 15%, and a 15% lower risk of death from any cause. Okay, studies with women show that deduction in heart disease risk was as high as 30 to 40%. That's with exercise, okay? Exercise and good eating habits. Okay, so it's not a secret that, exercise and diet go hand in hand, and I'll show you that coming up as well. Okay, so the big thing about today's presentation is this slide, okay? Establishing a healthy body weight goal, okay? So as someone that works in a gym, I've worked with numerous people for over 5 years. What people don't understand is the difference between a healthy weight goal and the ideal weight goal, okay? We want to focus on a healthy weight goal over the ideal weight goal, because people have this thing in their mind where, say Susie is 55 years old and she weighs 177 pounds. Well, Eric, I want to be 135 pounds. Why? I mean, why 135? Where do these numbers come from? That's why I always ask people is, I don't understand where people have this number in their mind when they get on a scale is, oh man, I'm not at my goal yet. Okay, well, it's understandable, but that might not be a healthy weight for her because of her body type. If she's 155 or 160 and she dropped 2 sizes in her pant size or whatever, and she looks and feels great and she has a lot of energy, then what's the problem? What people need to get off the, I'm looking for a number weight compared to, how they look or feel. I always judge it by how your clothes feel. If your clothes are feeling good, then great. Then we're on the right track. Meaning, the problem with ideal body weight is people are so obsessed with this number on the scale, they'll do drastic changes to meet that goal. And that's where the unhealthy habits come into play. Meaning we're losing a lot of water, we're losing a lot of muscle mass, and all those types of things. But their body composition doesn't change. I'll give you an example. When I was in college, before I started learning all this stuff, I was, just like everybody that goes to college, you gain weight, most people. So I got all the way up to 230 pounds, okay? So for me, that's pretty big. So I didn't like the way I looked, so what I did was I made a drastic change saying, I want to be around 175, 180 pounds, just like I was in high school. Okay, so I stopped lifting all this heavy weight and whatever, and I started running all the time and really, hammering, counting calories and restrict diet, all that good stuff. So I got down to 177 and I was happy with seeing it on the scale. Yes, but my body composition didn't change. I still had, just as much body fat percentage as I did when I was almost 230 pounds. Because I lost a lot of muscle mass, okay? I lost a lot of water. So that was not a healthy weight loss. And by doing that, and I'll get to this in a slide or two later, what I did was I kind of hurt my resting metabolic rate, which is the motor that keeps us alive and you're burning calories as you're sitting there. Our bodies have a way of expending energy to keep us alive. Everyone has a baseline, okay? So the more fit you are, or the more you exercise, the higher your resting metabolic rate is. Meaning your metabolism's faster, you're burning calories more than someone that's sedentary and just sits on the couch 7 days a week and eats Doritos, okay? So by doing my drastic weight loss change, okay, I kind of shot my resting metabolic weight in the foot because I brought my metabolic rate down. So my metabolism was actually slower than when it was when I was all, almost 230 pounds, okay? So after learning all this stuff in school, then I realized oh crap, I did it totally wrong. And I'm glad that happened to me because I'm glad I can share that story with, people that, didn't study the stuff that I studied and went to school for what I went for. So it's good that I work with people that can have that information. What body mass index is just the easiest way to determine, obesity and overweight. So what it is it's your weight in kilograms divided by your height in meters. It doesn't take into effect your lean mass. So, someone like LeBron James, he's going to be classified as overweight because he's 260 pounds and he's 6'8", but he's like 5% body fat. So on paper, yeah, he might be overweight, but like I said, it doesn't account for your muscle mass. So that's why I don't put too much stock in it, but it's the easiest way to classify somebody for determining their risk of obesity and all those other chronic diseases. I just want to go over what the two different types of body fat distribution too. There's one called android and there's one called gynoid. Okay, android is, if you ever heard of someone called apple shape, okay, they hold their weight more around their belly, okay, and gynoid is someone that holds their weight more around their hips, okay. So if someone is an android or an apple shape type of person where they hold most of their fat, they're at a little bit of an increased risk of various diseases just because of all the organs and stuff in the midsection, okay, covered with all that fat. So I just wanted to touch on that just a little bit. Okay, so diet, exercise, and a combo of both. Okay, these guys, this Brinkworth guy and his associates, they ran a study, a 12-week exercise program, just exercise. They didn't change anyone's diet, none of that. Okay, and what they saw was reductions in body weight. We would all think that. A decrease in cardiovascular risk factors and risk factors for diabetes. So all that decreased. Cool. All right. This guy down here, this variety, what they did was they added a low-fat diet with an exercise program to see, how much of a difference it would be if we added a controlled diet plan with exercise. Okay, so you can see I have the diet plan written down. The subjects, they all had less than 30% fat every day. 50 to 60% of their diet was carbohydrates, and 20% was protein. And then their exercise program was moderate, okay, so moderate endurance training, greater than 40 minutes for 3 days a week, okay? So, and this was all on obese women too. Every single subject was an obese woman, okay? So the results were the average percentage of weight loss was 14.8, okay? Their bad cholesterol, their low-density lipoprotein, that's bad cholesterol, they decreased by 7.5%, and their high-density lipoprotein, which is their good cholesterol, increased by 9.9%, okay? Those are all three very significant numbers, okay, in a study. So that just goes to show that, that you can have diet and you can have exercise, but you're really going to get the best results when you have them both, okay? Okay, this last study down here, what these people did, they took it a step further from moderate training and they went to a little bit more of intense training, okay? So by having a controlled diet plan with ramping up the exercise intensity, okay, the average weight loss correlates with the other studies, okay? But what they found was the subjects had greater muscle performance, greater physical fitness, greater motivation for physical activity, and they were more motivated to tell their peers in their social networks. Okay, so and that's the most important thing, motivation for physical activity. They were more eager to get back into it than people with moderate or low intensity exercise, okay? So I know there's some of you that come to the Tuesday and Thursday workouts that we have here in the afternoons, and I know you guys probably don't, think that you're having fun when you're doing our workouts, but afterward I'm pretty sure you feel good because you accomplished something that you didn't, weren't expecting to do when you woke up that day. Okay, and that's a big part of it. So some perceived barriers to lifestyle change. The most common ones I hear: I don't have time. I just don't have the energy to do that. Or they don't have the social support. Okay, the importance of social support, I can't stress it enough. When you are somebody that's surrounded with people that are positive, like, hey, come on, come try this with me. That is the best thing for you, because that's what's going to get you motivated. That's what's going to change your mind and take this I don't have time and I'm not motivated stuff and throw it out the window. Okay? If you have people, pushing you and encouraging you to keep going and try, then more times than not, you are going to try and you are going to keep going. Okay? Here's some 3 common responses to overcome barriers. I wish I can improve my physical skills and techniques. Okay? So if you're someone that, say, if you're a truck driver or you need to load and unload your truck, okay, and you feel like you're someone that, struggles with, my back's getting tight, or, I'm just too tired to keep unloading and loading up, okay? That's where exercise and proper techniques, learning those techniques can help play a role in improving your work performance. Someone else would say, feeling that exercise will improve my mental and physical strength. It's true. And I just think the activity is enjoyable. Okay, that obviously didn't come from the people that come to the Tuesday night workouts with Rick. I promise you that. The importance of adequate energy intake for healthy weight management. Okay, it's just simple math. Okay, if your goal is weight loss, the energy intake must be less than the energy expenditure. Okay, so the goal for weekly weight loss is no more than 2 pounds a week. That's for healthy weight. Okay, if you're losing like 5, 7, 8 pounds a week, then that might be a little drastic. Okay, you might be losing too much water. You might be losing your muscle mass. Okay, so that's a red flag if you ever see that on the scale. Okay, so why we want to lose 2 pounds a week or less? It's going to help preserve lean body mass. It's going to help preserve our muscle mass. Okay, it also results in the ability to keep the weight off, because we made healthy lifestyle changes and not a drastic change. Okay, and less water loss equals false weight loss that has not occurred. Okay, so if we keep if we're keeping our water up, then we don't have a false weight loss. Okay, losing 1 pound of body fat per week. This is the math. Okay, so it's a 500 calorie deficit. If you expend 250 calories a day, more than what you're doing now, and you take in 250 calories less than what you are now, if you do that every day, you're going to lose 1 pound of fat a week. Okay? Now, if you're looking for 2, just multiply it by 2. Okay? And make it a 1,000 calorie deficit. Expend 500 calories a day extra, and take in 500 calories less, and you'll lose 2 pounds of fat a week. Okay? That's perfect healthy weight loss. Okay? Some inappropriate weight loss methods: fad diet promotions. We all see them on TV, magazines, on the internet, all that stuff. You see those commercials, all you need is 5 minutes. That's all you need. You'll have this six-pack. You have this guy on there, it looks like he's been working out his whole life, but all he claims is, hey, all you need is 5 minutes on this machine and you're good. That's can't be farther from the truth. I can't explain that enough. Okay, do not fall into that trap. Okay? I've already touched on the dangers of rapid weight loss, but I'll go over them again. Losing more muscle mass leads to a decreased resting metabolic rate. A decline in resting metabolic rate leads to the inability to properly lose weight in the future. And a decrease in resting metabolic rate will lead to weight gain if the behavior is not changed. So if you have a drastic weight change, okay, and you kind of shoot your resting metabolic rate in the foot, and then you kind of just fall back into the behaviors that you were in before your weight loss, and to why you might have excess body fat, then you're going to put that weight back on real quick. Okay, that's just how it goes because your resting metabolic rate is so low that you're just going to retain that fat. Okay, if there's anything from today, this would be the table that you take away from today. Okay, so this is just general guidelines, and I know you can't really read it, so I'll go over here so I can read it for you. Okay, so achieving weight loss, again, we want to have that negative caloric balance. Okay, so we want to expend more than what we're taking in. Okay, so we recommend 5 to 7 days a week of exercise, of doing something, at least 30 minutes a day, walking outside, doing something. Okay, and even when we come, when I come on Thursday and Rick comes on Tuesday, that's still that counts as moderate to intensity exercise. Okay, so you'd like to have your total duration for the week be about 150 minutes or greater. Okay, that's just for exercise. Okay, so for dietary recommendations, you just want to make sure you reduce your caloric intake to accomplish your negative caloric balance. Okay, maintain a well-balanced diet. Kind of follow the diet that I showed in that study before. Okay, you want a low-fat diet. Make sure your carbohydrates are the most or the highest percentage, and then you still want your 20 to 25% of protein. Okay, and then for maintaining your weight loss, you just continue on that appropriate diet. Okay, and just make sure that you're still getting enough water, and you're also trying to hit that 20 to 30 minutes a day of exercise. Okay, so in summary, proper weight loss takes time. Okay, it doesn't take just a short amount of time to put the weight on. So it takes a little bit of time to take it off as well. Okay, so be patient with it. There's going to be times where you're going to plateau and you're going to get discouraged, but it's very crucial that we keep our mind, stay in the game, kind of so to speak. And don't get discouraged and stay positive with it because it will happen if you continue to follow the healthy way. Okay, just remember the 250 calorie deficit coupled with 250 calorie a day expense. Okay, that will help for one pound a week, and then behavioral change plus daily exercise plus decrease in energy intake equals success. Okay. So I will open up for any questions if you have any. No? Yes, sir.
Why do you always suggest to drink so much water?
Because, water is like the unsung hero of really being healthy. What's that?
You need to drink.
Oh, yeah. Especially, like when I came out here, were you here for my previous presentation? Like 3 months ago? Okay. When, it's recommended 8 glasses of water a day. Okay. But if you're exercising, what people don't understand is, you're sweating. Okay. If you're exercising and still drinking 8 glasses of water, that's still not enough because you need to go over top of that because you're sweating so much. So you need to go above and beyond 8 glasses of water in order to stay hydrated. The more hydrated you are, the better everything's going to work. Your metabolic rate's going to work faster. It's going to be easier. You're going to have more energy. Okay, it's just I can sit here and name factors for a half hour, but we're primarily made of water, so we need to keep the system going, so to speak. So as much water as you can drink, the better. Any questions? Any more? Okay, I left on your table, I don't know if everyone has one or not, but there should be a little register now thing. Okay, if you just want to put your name on that and then turn it in to just put it on the side of your desk. Okay, I will draw one person from each group, and then that person will win a free month of on-site training. Okay, so on the Tuesday and Thursday nights that me and Rick come out here and do our workouts. Okay, if you wish, go ahead and put your name on there. If not, thanks for coming. Have a good day.